Hi everyone. Today we are going to continue our work with lesson 13-4, the metric units for length. So just to review some of the things that we worked on yesterday, we're focusing on 4 units of measurement: the millimeter, the centimeter, the meter, and the kilometer. So just to help you remember the size of these, when we're talking about millimeters, we're talking about very teeny tiny itty bitty measurements, okay? When we're talking centimeters, we're talking about the width of like the top of your pencil or of a pen. Okay, still pretty small, but not as tiny as a millimeter. And remember the conversions. 1 centimeter has 10 millimeters. Okay, getting larger, we have a meter. A meter stick is what you're seeing right here. If you were to hold your arms out wide, that would be about the length of a meter. There are 100 centimeters in each meter. And then the last unit that we're talking about is the kilometer, okay? A very, very long distance. There are 1,000 meters in each kilometer. Now, anytime you hear the word kilo in a metric word, okay, kilo is actually kind of like an ancient root. We've been working with these Greek and Latin roots. It's a root that means 1,000. Okay, so it's called a kilometer because it's made up of 1,000 meters. Okay, so that's where that word comes from. So you're going to need to remember these conversions. Now, today we're going to be focusing on the homework page, but I do want to remind you that you have a conversions chart. It's back in your math book on page 698, which was your visual learning page. So go back and use that conversions chart if you don't have these conversions memorized in your head. Okay, so remember that that chart is there. So we're going to work together on just maybe 2 or 3 problems just to make sure you've got the hang of it. And then if you feel really good, you can stop the video and go ahead and try some of the work on your own. So for the homework page, we're going to ask you to complete numbers 1 through 6, 7 and 8. Okay, and on the back, 13 and 14 bonus problems are 16 and 17. Okay, so what are some of the problems we're going to work on together? Well, let's just kind of take a look here and let's just get ourselves warmed up with number 1. So for number 1, convert each unit. We're being asked to go from meters to centimeters. So let's think about this. Meters, put your arms out, longer unit. Centimeters, about the width of the top of the pencil. So we're going from a larger unit down to a smaller unit. Okay, so if you need to, go back to your conversions chart. 1 meter has 100 centimeters. Okay, so let's use that to build an equation. If we have 7 meters and there's 100 centimeters in each one, we can multiply and use the zeros trick. Underline what's not a zero. We get the basic fact of 7 times 1. 7 times 1 is 7. Add the 2 zeros, and we have our answer of 700 centimeters. Okay, let's look at number 2 together. We're going from kilometers, that's that distance that you would need to drive or run, a very large distance, to meters. Okay, here's what we know. Go back to the conversions chart. 1 kilometer has 1,000 meters. Okay, so we have 8 kilometers. We know each kilometer has 1,000 meters. Set up an equation. Use the zeros trick. Basic fact of 8 times 1 is 8. Add the 3 zeros. And we have 8,000. Okay? So let's look at one of these table examples. Okay, do this along with me. Let's again go from kilometers to meters. Okay, we know 1 kilometer, and if you have forgotten, go back to your conversion chart. 1 kilometer has 1,000 meters. So if we look at the table, 1 kilometer has 1,000 meters. Well, 2 kilometers, 1,000 and 1,000, that's going to give us 2,000. 3 kilometers, that's going to be 3,000. Notice the pattern. And hopefully you're starting to understand why so many people around the world enjoy the metric system. The conversions are so much easier because you're working with much more simple numbers. Now, while you're hanging with me, let's take a look at question 14. Okay, question 14 is one of the more challenging ones on your homework, so it might be a good thing to look at this together. So here's the deal. The ceiling of Mr. Vega's classroom is 3 meters high. The ceiling in the hall is 315 centimeters high. How much taller is the ceiling in the hall than in the classroom? Okay, so first thing we need to know, we're talking about the height of the ceiling. Okay, and we're talking about the classroom versus the hallway. The classroom is 3 meters. The hallway is 315 centimeters. So notice how we're using different units of measurement. Well, it's hard to compare things when you're using different units of measurement. So we want to try and put them both into the same unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert the 3 meters into centimeters. Okay, so we know 1 meter has 100 centimeters. So 3 meters, 100 centimeters in each one, that's going to give us 300. So the classroom ceiling is 300 centimeters tall. The hallway ceiling is 315. So which one's taller, the hallway or the classroom? Well, the hallway is, but that's not what the question was asking. The question was asking us how much taller. So we have to find the difference. The hallway ceiling is 315. The classroom ceiling is 300. Remember, to find the difference, we subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5. 1 minus 0 is 1. There is a difference of 15 centimeters. All right, so hopefully you followed along. Continue your independent practice, and as always, if something isn't making sense or you need help, reach out to your teacher, let her know.